What's up, wrestling fans? You're watching Fight Talks News, the one-stop spot for every WWE headline and showdown. Subscribe now and ring that bell. Let's get started. The arena is loud, but it doesn't sound like celebration. It's a restless roar, filled with crossed emotions rather than joy. Cheers collide with boos, disbelief hums beneath it all, and an uneasy silence lingers between reactions. John Cena stands alone at the center of the ring, not soaking in applause, not arguing the result, not chasing validation. He simply exists in the moment. There's a heaviness to the air, the kind that signals something important is happening, even if no one can fully explain it yet. This doesn't feel like a finish. It feels like a pause in time. Cena understands that instinctively. He doesn't rush to speak or pose. He listens. He absorbs. Years of experience have taught him that some moments are bigger than championships or scripted outcomes. This is one of them. The spectacle fades, and what remains is meaning. A shared realization between performer and audience that this moment isn't about winning, it's about acknowledging the weight of everything that came before. A result that left questions, not cheers. The bell has rung. The decision is final, yet the emotional ledger feels unsettled. There's no unified response, no instant payoff that wrestling fans are conditioned to expect. Instead, the crowd reacts in fragments, anger from some corners, confusion from others, and quiet reflection from those who sense an ending approaching. John Cena doesn't celebrate. He doesn't protest. He stands still, shoulders relaxed, eyes thoughtful. That restraint says everything. He knows the reaction matters more than the result. This wasn't about who walked out victorious. It felt like a closing page, the kind that doesn't slam shut, but slowly settles. Cena has lived through every possible crowd response imaginable, and this one hits differently. It carries finality without final words. Fans feel it too, even if they struggle to articulate it. Something familiar is slipping away, not abruptly, but gently. The uncertainty in the arena isn't disappointment, it's recognition. Recognition that they are witnessing a moment that will be remembered long after the scoreboard fades. Silence that carries more weight than words. Cena turns slowly, scanning the arena with calm, deliberate movements. He looks into the crowd instead of past it, acknowledging every reaction without trying to control it. Some fans chant his name, clinging to the version of him they grew up with. Others boo, frustrated by the outcome or the implication of change. Many remain quiet, absorbing the gravity of the moment. Cena doesn't reach for a microphone. He doesn't cut a promo or attempt to frame the narrative. He lets the silence breathe. That silence speaks louder than words ever could. It reflects trust in the audience to understand this moment without explanation. Cena built his career on connection, on meeting fans where they are emotionally. Here, that connection is raw and unfiltered. No character alignment, no storyline justification, just acknowledgement. The absence of dialogue turns the crowd into participants rather than spectators. In that shared quiet, performer and audience meet as equals, bonded by years of memories and mutual respect. One knee, one kiss, a lifetime of meaning. Then, in a moment that feels instinctive rather than scripted, John Cena drops to one knee. The movement is slow, intentional, and deeply personal. He bows his head and presses his lips to the canvas. The arena softens instantly. That ring mat isn't just part of the set. It's a witness to decades of sacrifice. It held his victories, his defeats, his injuries, and his comebacks. It absorbed the sweat, pain, and effort that defined his career. This gesture isn't flashy or theatrical. It's human. A quiet thank you offered without words. Longtime fans understand immediately. This isn't just respect for the ring. It's respect for the journey, for the nights when his body hurt, for the years when expectations were crushing, for the fans who stayed with him through every phase. The kiss feels like a farewell written through action, not language. A closing note to a chapter that shaped generations, delivered with humility and grace. A smile that reflects acceptance, not victory. When Cena stands again, the familiar bravado is gone. In its place is something softer, more honest. A small smile forms, not triumphant, not performative, but peaceful. It's the expression of someone who understands exactly where they are in their story. He bows his head slightly toward the crowd, acknowledging both the cheers and the boos with equal respect. This isn't John Cena, the larger-than-life character. This is the man behind the legacy, recognizing the shared journey between himself and the audience. Slowly, the energy in the arena shifts. Confusion gives way to clarity. Fans begin to understand that this isn't a plot twist or a setup for another angle. It's a moment of mutual appreciation. The noise changes tone, becoming warmer, more unified. Acceptance settles in, not as loss but as gratitude. The crowd isn't watching a wrestler anymore. They're witnessing a man honoring the space that gave him purpose and the people who gave his career meaning. When familiar faces turn the ring sacred, the moment expands when familiar music fills the arena. Triple H appears on the stage, Stephanie McMahon beside him. Their presence doesn't feel authoritative or confrontational. It feels ceremonial. Soon, other figures follow, leaders, legends, architects of different eras. Tonight, there are no rivalries, no storylines, no power dynamics. These are peers gathering to honor one of their own. As they approach the ring, the atmosphere transforms. The ring stops being a battleground and becomes a place of reflection. Every person who steps forward represents a chapter in wrestling history, moments that shaped the industry and the fans who love it. The crowd senses the shift immediately. This isn't about the future. It's about honoring the past. The collective presence speaks volumes without a single word being spoken. This is acknowledgement, not spectacle, respect, not performance. A reminder that behind every era are people who carried the weight together. Titles that symbolize legacy, not ownership. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk step forward, each carrying a championship title. The symbolism lands instantly. These belts once represented John Cena's dominance, his place at the top of the mountain. Tonight they represent continuity. When they offer the titles to Cena, he hesitates. He looks at them thoughtfully, then gently tries to return them. The gesture isn't rejection, it's humility. He doesn't need to hold them to validate his legacy. The moment isn't about possession, it's about recognition. Eventually, Cena lifts the titles, turning slowly to face every side of the arena. He shares the moment with the fans one last time, acknowledging the journey they took together. Then he hands the belts back, passing the torch without ceremony. The exchange feels organic, respectful, and deeply symbolic. It's not about who stands on top now, it's about